Hawkstone Park for the World Enduro Super Series.
Alright.
We're just going to get the sprints on the way here. It's day one. And we're just coming for the first Enduro Sprint test. Just waiting for the heads up. Off we go. This is the first run of the Enduro test. We get 4 runs of each test, so we get 4 Enduro Sprint tests and then 4 Motocross Sprint tests, and then the times then get added together for a total time, and it puts us against everybody else. So we're in the expert class, there's pros above us. We're just coming through these rough woods trying to find a smooth line. Just trying to keep on 2 wheels, not push these soft berms too hard and make a silly mistake. We have had a sighting lap of this loop, so I do kinda know the track, but it's about 4 or 5 minutes long, so it's pretty hard to remember it in one go. The lines are changing every test, you know, there's probably 100 riders going around this before I get another go, so not really done any of this sprint type stuff before, pretty new to me, but really enjoy the layout. You know, coming from motocross, it's that high intensity, you know, 5-minute blast, and then you get a little rest for 10 minutes, then you go again. They really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Some big whoop waves down this back straight, which GoPro doesn't do justice at all. So we come around this back section and there's a bit of a log to go over, or you can go around the chicken run like an easy route, but we managed to get the log pretty good, so for me anyway, I'm not used to logs and things, I'm used to jumps, so going over that log's probably the hardest part of this course for me. So some big soft berms in this section, just got to be careful the front don't dive too much. How the sprint works is after we've done this run, so I'll get a time, then it puts me against all the other riders that's had their first run. So then the next sprint test that I do, we go out in order, so it'll be fastest man first. So if I get the 15th fastest time, say, I'll set off 15th, and then that way you've got a least chance of catching up the person in front of you, because you should be roughly a similar sort of speed unless they have a crash or something. Find a sneaky little line on this left here, just on the inside. Through a chicane onto another fast rough straight here. You can see just in the distance there, that's Graham Jarvis. I was just catching him up on this first run. Obviously Jarvis is an animal on the extreme stuff and had kicked my arse, but on this going, we're catching him up. Couple of corners left here, just try and keep it upright, don't make no silly mistakes. And there we go, so first run 4 minutes 16 seconds. And now we move on to the motocross test. So there's Charlie Frost just setting off there, we're getting ready to the run now. here we go, so onto this motocross track now we're talking. This is my cup of tea. Raced here quite a few times, so I do know the track quite well, but it is different, they don't use all the track. But the conditions on this Saturday were just perfect, the track's just bermed up nice. Rough but not too rough. Rail this berm here. 300 TPI singing. Around the ball turn. Tabletop here. Throw a big Whitford fans. Nah, I'm joking, I think Wing caught me. So then it comes off the motocross track here and goes into like a wooded sort of section. Quite tricky, so like I say, it is a motocross sprint test, but there are woods involved, so it's not all on the motocross track. Big loose berm here to try and get the power down up this hill. Tree roots coming through there, you can see. Back onto the motocross track now. Big launch through the woods, around the big ball turn. And you can see we're catching Charlie Frost up now. See, on the Enduro test he was a couple of seconds faster than me, but once we got on the motocross track it was a different game, you know, nice and fast flowing. You can see I get on the back of him here, but then once we get to these woods he starts to pick his pace up a little bit. It's obviously what he's used to. Getting some dust off Charlie now. Coming round into this whoop section at Hawkstone Park. This is actually backwards on the motocross track. They were a lot deeper than they look on GoPro, not doing that justice at all. Around this back section there were some big holes too. Suspension working overtime. Last couple of turns now just to finish off this run. Mess up this corner here a little bit. Oh. Whoa, what are you doing, Mark? He's down on the finish line. Anyway, 3 minutes 17 for that first run. Happy with that, I think that gave me first in the expert class. And get ready now for the Enduro test number 2. So we're just behind Paul Torres. He's just set off. Let's try and catch him. Really enjoyed these first couple of turns here. Just a big deep rut, you can just sit down, get on that throttle. Square these straights off, try and miss them holes a little bit. So about halfway through the test now, and we're just coming down this rough back straight section. The sun was out today, so it were creating a lot of shadows in these trees, so it were quite tricky to see the ground. Just try and stay on them pegs and stay away from them tree roots. come round these turns here, and we noticed I think Paul Torres has had a bit of a crash here. He's just picking his bike up, and he gets going in front of me, so I decide to do the chicken run just to stay out of trouble. And then I realise, why did I not just follow him? This guy's like an extreme flipping wizard, and I'm a motocross rider. There's no way we're going to get stuck over that log, but a split second decision there. Lose a second or two on him, but we're catching back up. Oh, giving me that roost. With the sprints, they give you kind of 15-20 second gap in between, but because Paul fell off there, I've caught up to him, so it's a little bit unfortunate because now I'm getting his roost and I can't see the lines just as well because of the dust and things. Try and make a little pass here on this cheeky line. It nearly happens. Maybe should have forced that a little bit more, but don't really want to mess with him. He looks like a bit of a giant, to be honest. Just gonna have to kind of follow him on to the finish. Really hard to pass in these woods, you know, it is quite narrow. It's just coming to the finish now, and you can just see the dust he's giving up. Oh, really hard to see your line there, a little bit off-putting, but not too bad. 4 minute 20, so 3 seconds slower than the first run, but we'll take that, that was good. Back to the motocross sprint now for run 2. Let's see if we can do any better. Through the bomb hole. Big tabletop. Whoa. Whoa. Really enjoyed this sprint. Even with motocross, when you do qualifying, you get, you know, you have to put a fast lap in, so it's kind of like that, but with the sprints, because they set you off in order, you've got, most of the time you've got a clear track, so it's like doing a qualifying lap on a clear track, so there's no traffic. Real good fun. This section got real nasty though. I think Watson was doubling these whoops. Not a clue how we did that. Tried it once in practice, nearly killed myself. Not with that. Last couple of turns here of the second run, and again another 3 minutes 17, so same as the first run there, and I think we again get first in the expert class. We're ready for this third run of the Enduro Sprint. Give it some beans off the start there. Trying to get used to going up that gearbox and just run a smoother, you know, smoother power instead of, I'm used to just hitting berms and letting that back wheel spin, but when there's tree roots and things and slippy off cambers, you watch these Enduro lads and they look slow, but they're actually going really fast. Just trying to square off a couple of these corners to miss them sharp edges. It's actually uphill, quite steep, but you can't tell off the GoPro too much. Back down this rough, fast straight. It's like Lommel through that section. Oof, back end kicks out there, get a little wobble, legs go flying. We keep it upright though, just about. And back round to the finish there for that test. And we got 4:19, so a little bit faster than the second run there. I think that puts us third in the experts in the Enduro Sprint so far, so we're doing good. And we'll get back on this motocross track. So you can see we're setting off here behind Travis Teasdale. So my last run was really good. I think it put me about 9th overall in the actual pro class, so really good to be mixing it with some of these boys. We didn't use the Hawkstone Hill for the sprints. They were saving that for the main race on the Sunday. But still a great little sprint layout here. I actually think the sprints were great for the spectators. You know, everyone was putting 100% effort in. You know, you're not just grinding out for 2.5 hours. You can see everyone there just watching the lads see what they really can do. You know, put it to the test. Obviously, Watson and Garcia just on another level. And another 317, so that's 3 317s on the motocross there, so very consistent. So the final run now for the enduro test. Really happy so far with how I've done on the enduro ones. I mean, didn't think it was going to be my kind of style, the enduro. I expected to do well on the motocross track, but I've surprised myself. I think I end up 3rd overall in the experts on the enduro test against some real fast riders. Really enjoyed sort of the high intensity pace though. Heart rate through the roof. Over this log again here. Whoa, look at that, Jarvis style. Trying to find them smooth lines where I can. Can't beat a bit of berm bashing in these woods. And we've got to use this track tomorrow for the main race, so she's going to get rough. My legs are already aching thinking about it. Last blast now to the finish for this final run. Don't mess it up now, Ryan. You got this. 4:21. So not bad. 4 consistent runs there. Ready for this last motocross sprint. Here we go. Bop. Actually really surprised with how this enduro bike ran on the motocross track. Didn't think it would be this good, but once I got used to it and the slightly softer suspension on the jumps, I actually think I'm not much slower on it, maybe a second or 2 here and there. I think that Suff Seller in front of me there, I think he made a little mistake on that corner, so we catch him up a little bit. Just get a little of his dust there. And then I think we've got Taddy behind me pushing me a little bit, caught me up a little bit in this run. But I've had a really good day, so I don't want to crash in this one, just hang on there and try and bring it home. After watching a couple of GoPros of the pros, I seen a couple of lines they were using that I weren't, and that's where they kind of make the seconds on me, you know, little bits here and there, just cutting corners, missing ruts, setting themselves up better for the next turn. Really learning a lot, bike skill and things. It's not just flat out, you've got speed as well as bumps and tree roots. But 3 minute 20 there for the final motocross run, so we've had 3:17 3 times and a 3:20, and that gives us a total time with the Enduro and MX combined of 30 minutes 30 seconds, and that gives us second overall in the expert class, so we got on the podium. I think we got about 15th overall combined with the pros. But yeah, thanks for watching, see you soon.